So welcome to Online Presenters Toastmasters. We are a club that celebrates and hopefully educates on excellence in online speaking, online presentations of all sorts. We welcome our guests who are here. Fair warning that the meeting is being recorded. And if you were on screen or you speak up at some point during the meeting, well, then that's going to be part of the recording. That'll be part of the replay when we go out and promote it after the event. And for our guests, we will actually ask you at the end if you can stick around and maybe give us a little bit of feedback on what your experience was here. So we very much welcome you and hope that you have a good experience tonight and that hopefully you learn some things along the way. This is one of two special meetings that we're doing this month. Tonight is a marathon session of tech tips, leadership tips, any kind of tip that the speaker wants to share in a brief period of time. And we have next week, we actually have a world champion of public speaking coming to visit with us. His name is Mark Hunter. And I wanted to actually show you just a few seconds of his world championship speech. So you have an idea of what you have to look forward when he does visit with us. And so.
Thank you. Thank you. Literature is literally littered with lively legends. Amongst them rides Don Quixote, the man of La Mancha, an idealistic knight who fought for the rights of others.
All right. Well, we'll see more of it. We'll hear more from Mark next week. But I just was impressed by the fact that he was giving himself quite a workout in that wheelchair. Probably moved around the stage more than a great many able-bodied folks, and so I think there's a lot to learn from Mark. So really looking forward to that. With that, I don't know, were there any other preliminaries that we need to deal with? If not, I think I will hand it off to our Toastmaster of the day, Jen Ayala, to take us through our Tipathon.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Dave Carr. Good evening again, or good morning, Toastmasters and guests. Our theme today is going to be lessons learned the easy way instead of the hard way. And again, my name is Jenny Ayala, and I have the honor to be your masters today. So with this theme of the day, we all learn lessons in life. Some lessons come from experience, mistakes, and sometimes from doing something the hard way. But what if we could learn from someone else's experience instead? Maybe a coworker once taught you a shortcut. Maybe a friend gave you advice that saved you from making a mistake. Or perhaps someone shared a story that made you think, I'm glad I learned that lesson from you instead of experiencing myself. One of the beautiful things about being part of Toastmasters is that we are constantly learning from one another. Every speech, every evaluation, and every conversation gives us an opportunity to grow without necessarily having to make every mistake ourselves. This evening, our speakers are going to give us some tips about their favorite tech of leadership. And they are going to share their experiences, ideas, and tips with us. Each speech is an opportunity to take away something valuable, perhaps a new perspective, a useful tip, or even a lesson that can save us from making the same mistake ourselves. So as you listen to each speaker tonight, I encourage you to ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I apply this lesson to my own life? Because sometimes the smartest way to learn isn't by making the mistake ourselves, the hard way. It's by listening to someone who has already been there. Let's open our minds, take notes, and see what tips we can take home with us tonight or morning. Who knows? One of those tips might save us from learning a lesson the hard way. So let's learn, love, share, and grow together. Welcome to our meeting. First of all, let's get started with our first order of business. I would like to let our functionaries to briefly explain the roles for this evening or morning. We will start with our timer. Shinadu Onuwa, please explain us your role.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Chinedu Onwuka. I'll be your timer for tonight's meeting. I'll be ensuring that the speakers keep to time and the meeting is exactly as goes exactly as we have planned it to be. For the speakers, we'll have each speaker having 3 to 5 minutes. At the third minute, you'll see a green light. Fourth minute, an amber colored light, and at the fifth minute, there'll be a red colored light on the screen. After which you have 30 minutes to wrap up. For the table topics, it will be between 1 to 2 minutes, and will be the same sequence: red, green, amber, and red. But yeah, the whole essence will be to ensure that everybody keeps the time in tonight's meeting, and we end at a good time. Thank you.
Thank you. And now, our grammarian, please tell us the word of the day. Geoff can.
Sorry, can you pass the word of the day? Because I couldn't. Hello.
It's in the chat,
The word of the
concise, I
day is
believe.
the word of the day is concise, giving a
Okay.
clear information in very few
Concise,
words.
yes.
Okay.
Do you see in the chat, Jeff?
Yes. Okay. Thank you. So, thank you, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. As grammarian, my job tonight is to listen. I'll be listening for two things. First is the use of creative, vivid, and eloquent use of language. Those turns of the phrase that make us sit up and take notice. And second, I'll note any stumbles, any grammatical slips, awkward constructions, or crutch words that sneak into our speech. At the end of the meeting, I'll deliver a report on the use of our language. And I'll also be delivering our word of the day, which is concise, which is an adjective, and that is to give a lot of clear information in very few words. It means leaving out extra details, fluff, or wasted space while keeping the full meaning. Back to you, uh, uh, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you. And let's go to our next role. Please, our distinguished Toastmaster, Jocelyn Williams, our watcher.
Madam Toastmaster, Toastmasters, and guests, good evening. As watcher, I focus on the visual experience of our online meeting. And throughout the meeting, I will observe attendees, not just the speakers, and look for visual elements that enhance or distract from effective communication. I will be paying attention to body language, camera framing, backgrounds, lighting, video quality, props, slides, and other visual effects. At the end of the meeting, I will provide a brief report highlighting effective visual practices, opportunities for improvement, and tips we can all use to strengthen our online presence and visual communication. So remember, even when you're not speaking, the watcher is watching. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
That Thank you. That is great. And our chat monitor, MJ Bush.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, and welcome, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As tonight's chat monitor, my job is to act as your digital concierge while our speakers hold um, the, the floor verbally. The chat box is where the rest of our community connects. And I will be monitoring the chat to ensure our conversation stays encouraging and on track. Please use the chat to drop words of praise, virtual applause, or ask questions during designated times. I will be taking notes and I'll return at the end of the meeting to share our chat highlights. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, MJ. And our distinguished Toastmasters and Vice President of Education, Annie Martin, our vote counter today.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. Yes, I will be using a very clever tool that David Carr produced, and that is a vote counting tool, basically. So once the timer has indicated whether our tips are in time or not, you will then have the chance to vote for the tip that you thought actually delivered the most punch, the one that you felt was worthy of being the winner. And later in the meeting, I will be announcing that. Back to you, Jenny.
Thank you. And reminder, our agenda, we are going to do the induction of new members by our Vice President of Membership, distinguished Toastmaster, Graham Cairns.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jenny. Fellow Toastmasters, it is now our duty and privilege to induct not one, not two, but three new members into the Online Presenters Toastmasters Club. This is an important occasion both for these new members and also for our club. They've come to Toastmasters and to this club in particular seeking to improve their communication and leadership skills. And we now have an opportunity to help them learn and grow and achieve. Jocelyn Williams, Pooja Nayak and Chinada Orca, you're joining a club which is part of a worldwide organisation that has helped more than 4 million people learn to communicate more effectively. As a member of the Online Presenters Toastmasters Club, you will benefit from a proven program of self-development. You'll become part of an outstanding group of people who are dedicated to helping one another in a spirit of sharing and of enjoyment. Membership in this club and in Toastmasters International is, however, a privilege that carries with it many rewards. It also places certain obligations upon you. We're a group of people who are brought together to do things that we could not accomplish alone. Our collective obligation is to grow and improve ourselves and to share our knowledge and experience with fellow members in a spirit of enjoyment. This means you must work diligently toward your own self-development, evaluate others' speeches in a spirit of support and sharing, and assist the club in reaching its goals, while remaining positive and keeping a smile on your face. We ask you, our new members, to dedicate yourselves to personal growth, to share this great gift with your fellow members, and to help keep Toastmasters and this club strong and dynamic. Do you, Jocelyn, Pooja and Chineda, agree to attend meetings regularly and prepare fully for each assignment, apply yourself to the projects outlined in the Toastmasters education program, participate actively in club activities, evaluate others in a positive, constructive manner, build open, friendly relationships with fellow members, and bring other new members into the club so they can gain the benefits of Toastmasters? Just nod or a thumb up would be good. Good, you're all agreeing. In that case, we, the members of the Online Presenters Toastmasters Club, pledge to support you in your quest for self-development, to provide you with positive, helpful evaluations, to maintain a friendly, supportive atmosphere, to give you the opportunities to help others, and to make your Toastmasters experience a rewarding and fulfilling one. Members, please unmute and welcome our newest members, Jocelyn Williams, Pooja Nayak and Chinada Onka Onwuka. Yay, welcome. Three of us.
Right.
Three of us. Three of us. There you go.
Yay.
Toastmaster.
Oh. Okay, now this is the excited part about the tipathon. With us, the tip one is going to be Simmer Dillon that in our chat. She has been sharing some pictures in Vancouver with the convention of Toastmasters, and it's great that now she is giving the tip number one for us today. Welcome, Simmer.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. Okay, let me set my slides in here. Okay. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Let me start badly on purpose. Today, okay, let's start from the beginning. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today, I am going to talk to you about how to make your speech more interesting. Be honest, did I already lose you? This is exactly my tip of the day. Always like to experiment new things. Do not warm up your audience as we go to gym. It's not required in the speaking. Start where the interesting part begins. Audience wants to have a curiosity, not a warm-up. Too many speeches begin with an announcement, like, and I have done that in the past. Today I am going to talk about, my topic is, I would like to share today, and there is nothing technically wrong with those openings, but they don't create curiosity. And if your audience is not curious, they have no reason to lean in. So instead of announcing your topic, start with the moment that makes people want to hear what's coming next. Let's try a quick experiment in here. Which opening makes you want to hear? A. And there is a B, fear affect all of us in different ways. And there is a C. My hands were shaking so badly, I almost dropped the microphone. So type A, B, or C in the chat. Holy man, it's all C's. That's what actually I was guessing. Many of us choose C. There's nothing wrong with it. C is more of that. Let me quickly have one more look. There is a one B came. B or C. Yes. There is a mix of B, but most of the are C's. For storytelling, C creates something especially powerful, curiosity. It makes us ask what happened next. A is more direct, I believe, and then B gives a broader idea. But C put us immediately inside a moment. We can almost feel those shaking hands. Thank you. Thank you for your insight. And here is another example. Just give me a second. I'm just quickly go to the slide 3 in here. Instead of saying, today I'm going to talk about procrastination, try, I had 6 months to prepare this speech. I started last night. How's that? Now I want to know what happened. So before your next speech, try one of these 4 ways to begin. A story, a question, a surprise, or some things that create curiosity. And here is your challenge. Imagine your speech is about failure. So how would you say it? Instead of saying, today I'm going to talk about failure, Nobody would do that. How would you open it? Give me one sentence in the chat. I'm really excited to see this one. Looks like Jenny's typing. I am an abject failure and I'm proud of it. And this is Graham. Failure is the way to grow. Thanks. That's a positive. I messed that up. Oh wow. This is also, I like that one. I asked her to marry me and she said, no, this is wonderful, Carl. This is my favorite. My mom told me failure is, and use a quote by a person who may not know. I lost my way to school. I missed the turn. Yes, those are all the great openings. I believe that we got actually, I would say that the tip of the day is successful. You have all have gotten the idea behind it. So it is technically, this is the way how your audience decide very quickly whether to lean in or tune out. So before your next speech, don't ask, how would I introduce my topic? Ask what would make them need to hear my next sentence. All the sentences that I have seen, most of it is just more of the, is kind of giving the way to open up a new story. I wanted to hear all the stories behind it. This is my curiosity. So start at the interesting part. So this is the tip of the day. So thank you. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Simmer. I think that title killed the boring opening. It's concise and memorable and action-oriented. Thank you for all the tips you give us in this matter. Our second tip is our distinguished Toastmasters and President David Carr. And the title is How and Why to Blog in 2026.
Here is why you should publish blogs in 2026. Not as an end of itself, but as part of a broader strategy to boost your business, to boost your nonprofit, to boost your cause, your personal profile, any of those things. Now, the word blog has some negative connotations, some outdated connotations. Back in the 1990s, a blogger was a self-important person who would publish an online diary. In 2026, a blog is just another way of publishing to the web. A blog post can be a news item, an announcement, a how-to, a product announcement. It could be lots of different things. Any kind of focused article can be a blog. Now, because of the way AI has scrambled search and search engine optimization over the past couple of years, it's gotten harder for people to actually make a living as a blogger, to make money off of advertising on the site. It's gotten harder for professional publishers too. Unfortunately, if you're not in that business, blogging can still be a very useful tool for creating interest in your website, in your cause, in your Toastmasters Club. The Online Presenters Toastmasters Club shows up very well in search. It shows up well in ChatGPT answers. And one of the reasons for that is that there are blogs on our site. There are focused pieces of content on lots of different topics. And I'll show you some of that in a moment. And as in my position, I don't necessarily care, because I'm not depending on advertising, whether people read my blog directly or they get a summary through ChatGPT or Google, as long as they get the message. Now, as a speaker, you may be asking, well, blog? Why would I blog? Do people blog in 2026? Graham asked me that earlier. As a speaker, you may be asking, shouldn't I be doing video? And the answer is yes, you should be doing video, but you should be doing both, and you should be linking them together. And here is an example of that. This is one of my tech tutorial blog posts. It was one of my tech tutorial YouTube videos. It includes a few paragraphs, and down at the bottom, it includes a link to a blog post. If we go to a blog post, the blog post also includes the video. Actually, it includes a couple of different videos. So if people find the blog first, I want them to find the videos. If people find the video first, I want them to find the blog. So I want these things to work together for me. Now, if you go to the Online Presenters homepage, we have some content up top. We're trying to get you to sign up for events, but we also have all these workshop highlights. Each of these is a blog post. Each blog post has a featured image to help sell it, convince you to click on that link and read more. And it has an embedded video. It has some other content. We also have just our recent blog posts, our most recent blog post showing up down the bottom. Now, as a member of Online Presenters Toastmasters, you have the ability to post to our blog, to become a contributor to our blog, and I would encourage that. And the way that you would do that is you would go up to the top of the screen where there's a menu item that says New, and under that you would choose Post, New Blog Post. There is also a menu over on the side. You can see a listing of all the blog posts. This is where you would find your unfinished draft, and there's a button that says Add Post. But notice you can write the equivalent of a blog on LinkedIn. That's another way that you can post this kind of focused content, and you can use it to reinforce your personal profile. Here are some of my LinkedIn articles. So those serve a different purpose. Those are reinforcing my personal profile as opposed to my website. Here's an example of an unfinished blog post, a draft blog post. The idea is that after this meeting is over, I will get the YouTube replay posted up from Zoom, and I'll paste it in right here. And I've actually got another video embedded in here of somebody else's perspective on how blogging is still relevant. So this is this person doesn't call themselves a creator because they call themselves a creator, not a blogger, because they do lots of other things, and blogging is just part of it. If you do create a new blog post in the WordPress format, you're going to get a blank page where you can add a title. And in the upper right-hand corner is where you can add an image, either something that you upload or something from our media library. And I will just grab this image of a sill and plug it in over there. If I want to post in other content, I could paste it in, but I don't want to just have a wall of text. I want to have also some things like headings to break it up and have better organization. So I can search for heading or headline, and I can drop a couple of these blocks in here. Or I can go to any blank line, and there's a little plus button down here where I can choose, say, an image to add. So I can add an image, again, in the body of this, grab something from the computer, and that will be added in here. If I want to add video, it's very easy. I just grab the link from YouTube, I paste it in on a blank line, and it automatically will add the YouTube player. So I would encourage everybody who's presenting tonight to also create a blog post that amplifies their message and helps us promote the club. Madam Toastmaster.
Your mic's still off, Yanni.
Thank you. I think today's blogging is trustworthy, memorable, and also they make you feel like people can search. And our next tip is our distinguished Toastmasters, Jim Barber. Are you micromanaging AI?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, my fellow Toastmasters. Simmer indicated a few moments ago that we should begin a presentation with a story, and so I was listening. Once upon a time, a young man was walking along a beach and he stubbed his toe. He looked down to see what he had stumbled over, and he spotted a beautiful golden lamp. He picked up the lamp, he rubbed it idly, and to his surprise, a genie appeared. Yes. The man was no dummy. He said, I get 3 wishes, don't I? And the genie said, that's so 20th century. You get unlimited wishes about anything that you want, as many times as you want, for as long as you want. Your wish is my command. And the young man said, well, I'll tell you what. I left a load of dirty dishes in the sink back at the house. If you could wash those dishes and put them away in the cabinet, I would really appreciate it. And while I'm at it, there's a load of clothes in the dryer that I forgot to take out. They're probably wrinkled. If you could take those out and iron them if necessary and put them away, I would sure appreciate it. End of story. Now, that's a pretty lame story, but it's also about a pretty lame use of a genie. But before you condemn the young man very hard, I would suggest that you look at how you are using AI. Many people, I won't name names, but many people use AI to write emails, to summarize an article, to analyze some data, something like that. There's nothing wrong in doing this, but it's really not at all unlike having a genie wash your dishes for you or do your laundry for you. The AI is a miracle of modern technology. And to use it for trivial things is underusing its magnificent capabilities. So there's nothing wrong with writing emails or summarizing reports. Those are good things to do, saves you some time, but really raise your sights. Can't you find a better use for AI than doing those little things? And that's tip number 1, raise your sights. The second tip falls in line with the first tip. It's commonplace when AI first started, when it first came out, you had to be very specific on what you wanted from AI because otherwise you didn't know what direction it was going to go off in. So people get very detailed in telling AI what they want. And there is a good side to this, but there is also a downside. You can accomplish so much more if you don't tell AI what you want it to do, but you tell AI what you want to accomplish, and then ask it how to go about doing that. I'll give you an example. A couple of months ago, I got in the mood to write my book. I had this book waiting for me inside, and I said, okay, I'm going to write my book, and I'm going to get AI to help me with it. So I gave AI the title of the book, I gave it the chapters, the outline, the premise of the book, and that sort of thing. And I said, okay, AI, lay it on me. What should I do? And AI came forth with some magnificent presentations, some magnificent suggestions on how to go about writing my book. But then I got to thinking about what I just described, that maybe I was underusing AI. So I described to AI what I wanted to accomplish with the book, why I was writing the book. And then I asked it, okay, AI, I also gave it my context, what my age, my financial situation, the amount of time that I have, and that sort of thing, and told AI, okay, now AI, how should I write my book? And AI came back and said, Jim, I honestly don't think writing a book is the best use of your time and energy. It suggested an alternate approach to accomplish what I wanted to accomplish. And I am currently involved in a project that I would never have imagined doing. And I'm going to be completing it in the next couple of weeks in a time that I would never have been able to complete the book. So I was very happy with this, with what AI did, because I didn't tell it what to do, but rather I told it what I wanted to accomplish, and I let it guide me in directions that I hadn't been thinking of. So those are the two tips. Raise your sights, use AI for things beyond the trivial things, and also don't be so specific on telling AI what to do. Instead, ask AI what you can accomplish. And those are my concise 2 tips on AI. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Great, Mr. Barber. And now our 4th tip is handheld microphone techniques by our distinguished Toastmasters, Graham Cairns.
Graham, you're still muted.
Of course I am. Yes, I'm doing a microphone thing and I'm still muted. That makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters guests, we're all involved in an online meeting here, and most of us are using either the microphone built into our computers or we're using a podcast microphone. I'm currently using a Yeti Blue. I also have an NT Pro from Rode somewhere else. But what I'm going to be talking to you about today is using microphones in a face-to-face meeting where you are making a presentation to a large group, for example, where you have to use a microphone. There are multiple types of microphones that you can use. My personal favorite is the one that goes on as a headset, because I can now ignore it. I can use my hands to make gestures. I can do everything I need to do. The microphone, as you can see, is about a hand's width away from my mouth. That's where it goes. That works perfectly. Now, you won't normally need to set that up because that will be done by somebody organizing it for you. There are also various wireless microphones. My personal favorite is the Rode Go. Now, this particular one, you will note that I have clipped this on. And if you are not wearing the sort of clothing that makes itself accessible to clipping on, consider that if you're going to be giving a speech, for example, in front of a large crowd. A Rode clip-on microphone, I love these, but it is quite large and quite chunky and doesn't look as unobtrusive as the standard clip-on lavalier microphone. Again, this is a wireless one. Again, you'll note that I have placed this around the middle of my thorax because that's the best place to pick up audio when you're using a microphone. But sometimes you're not going to be able to use a clip-on, and so you are going to be restricted in the use of your hands because you will have a handheld microphone. Now, what do you do with a handheld microphone? The important thing to remember about any handheld microphone is that it is directional. You will note that the microphone is being pointed towards my mouth. If I turn, I move the microphone with me. I don't leave the microphone there as I look at it, because what happens then? The microphone is picking up what my ear is saying. Is my ear saying anything? No, it is not. My mouth is what's saying. Always keep the microphone aimed towards your hand. Now, be prepared if you are speaking and you have particular gestures that you want to make. Be prepared for that. Be prepared to change hands as you move. As you're wandering around the stage, the microphone should always be pointed at your mouth. One of the worst things that you can do with a microphone is let it drop down here around the middle of your chest, because now it's far too far away. It will not pick up the audio. Worse is where you start waving it around. You're not even thinking about the microphone. And what are you doing? You're picking up the fans, you're picking up the air conditioning, you're picking up, well, nothing much. The microphone can only work if it is pointed at the source of audio. And the source of audio when you are presenting is you, your mouth. So the most important tip that I can give you is to keep the microphone sufficiently far away that you're not going to be popping all over it. So that's, I don't know, roughly roughly a fist away. As you put your fist like that, put it there. That's roughly how far away the microphone needs to be. If you have it too far away, it won't pick you up, and it'll pick up too much ambient noise. If you've got it too close, then it'll start to sound distorted. Oh, and by the way, have you ever had a boss who wanted to make sure that you were working, and so they walked in and said, bang, bang, bang on the top of your head? No, that's not the way to treat you. It's not the way to treat your equipment. Please do not thump a microphone to make sure that it's working. If you must do it, a gentle tap on the side. But generally, you come up with a line. I usually use a line that my mother came up with when I was a child. She used to sing to me, and I have no idea why. Maresy dotes and dozy dotes and little lambsy divey, a kiddly divey too would shoot. That is my standard opening line when I'm testing a microphone, because it has lots of sibilants in it. It also has lots of plosives. It lets me test the microphone. And so, I walk in and go, Maresy dotes and dozy dotes and little lambsy divey. Don't worry, folks, I'm just testing the microphone. All is good. And so that works. But the microphone should be roughly that far away from your mouth. It should always be pointed toward your mouth unless you want to pick up the background noise for whatever reason. And quite frankly, I can't think of many examples where that would be the case. I don't know why I'm holding my microphone here, because it's well away from the microphone that I'm actually using, but I'm using it for demonstration purposes anyway. Toastmaster Jenny.
Thank you. I think with those tips, we can make a big difference in how we sound. And unfortunately, Dr. Sunny couldn't make it today, but our distinguished Toastmaster, Dr. Byrne, will be stepping into to share tip number 5 with us. Dr. Byrne, the virtual floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. I put some slides or information into the chat for each of you. Let me ask this first question. How many of you have been involved with your club success plan, writing that whole thing up? It's 10 pages, and for most clubs takes quite a long time. Let me ask this question. How many people who've looked at YouTube play it at the standard speed or play it at an advanced speed? You can go 1.25, 1.5, 1.75, 2, and in some cases, 3 times the way it was set up, which means that it takes you as little as half the time to watch and listen to that video compared to otherwise structured. Think of you're doing the task of the club success plan. I did another one for a club today, one of my clubs this afternoon, and we did the whole thing in less than 20 minutes. Why? Because we took advantage of this next tip. And this next tip is that speech to text applications are very helpful in getting your information down quickly. If you think of 4 categories of communication, how long it takes to do, they are handwriting. How fast do you write the written word? Anyone have any guesses out there? How many words a minute do you normally write with handwriting? David, as a journalist, how many words do you write per minute as a journalist writing a story?
About 10 in a legible scrawl that I could never read again.
Right. The national average is 20 to 30 words per minute. When people say that doctors' handwritings are illegible, the reason for that is the average physician writes between 75 to 150 words per minute. It's not physically possible to form all your letters correctly when you're writing that fast. Another thing, typing. Most people type between, Jenny, how fast do you type?
I cannot say, I don't have on the top of my head the many letters, how many letters per minute, but
I'll give
fast,
you a hint.
yes.
Nationally, it's 40 to 60 words per minute. And this is not if you're a professional typist that can do 80 to 120 words per minute. So that's what typing does. What about speaking to text? What is the average amount of words you can get in on a speech-to-text program. Graham, what do you think?
Speech to text, I would think you could probably get around about 100 to 130.
You're absolutely correct. And conversational speaking, Jim, what would you say the average speaking number of words per minute exists?
Conversational?
Yeah, just like we're talking now.
150.
Well, you're in range. It's between 130 to 170, depending upon what region of the country you're from. If you're in the South, it's much lower, like 30 to 50 is a normal kind of a pacing. If you're up in New York, the average is closer to 200 with gusts up to 400 words per minute. It differs depending upon where you are in the country and how you grew up in your culture. The reason I mention all these things is that the time it takes to have thoughts and to put it down on paper or in a blog or in a video varies depending upon the media that you're using. I want to introduce you to speech to text applications. And I'm going to just mention two of them. The first is Whisper and that Whisper Flow. And that program is across all platforms and could be used in all those circumstances. The other one is Aqua Voice. And both of those programs, I put a comparison of cost in the chat for you to find. The reason that they're there is it can help you whether you're doing your individual pathways projects and you have to answer all the questions as you're going through the pathway projects, or you're doing a club success plan like I did this afternoon, and you can get your thoughts out much more quickly to paper doing it that way. Part of the problem with either writing is you have mechanical issues. With typing, it's the process of both thinking, developing structure, and then putting it into paper. You get the highest output in conversational speaking and allowing your mechanics and AI to convert that to text. Try it. I put all the information you need in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you. Those are very interesting applications that we certainly would like to apply and try and see how many words we can type per minute or improve our writing, our papers. And let's go to the evaluate the screen, not the room. That is our tip number 6 from our distinguished Toastmasters, Asil. Sorry.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Fellow Toastmasters, raise your hand or give me a reaction if you have ever evaluated an online speaker and found yourself giving the same comments you might use in a face-to-face meeting. Okay, thank you. Now, online, those things look a little different. There is a screen, little rectangle, plus a camera, a microphone, and sometimes a Wi-Fi connection with its own personality. So my message when evaluating online, focus on the screen, not the room. But what works face-to-face still matters online. We just experience it differently through the screen. There are 4 concise questions we can use. They are not a checklist to memorize, just a pair of glasses to put on before you evaluate. What did I see? Did I see the speaker's face clearly? Did they look into the camera at important moments? How about gestures? Were they visible? Or did their hands disappear somewhere above or below the screen? Instead of saying good eye contact, we can be more helpful and concise. When you looked into the camera during your opening, I felt you were speaking directly to me. Or when you made that big gesture for emphasis, your hands disappeared from view. What did I hear? Online, the voice has to travel technology before it reaches us. So we're not only listening to how the speaker uses their voice, we are also listening to how that voice reaches us. For example, your message was clear, but when you moved from the microwave, I had to work hard to hear you. What did I feel? Did I feel connected, curious, inspired? Or did I feel as if I was watching a webinar while wondering what was in my fridge? Yummy. And when that connection is there, our feedback can reflect it. For example, you can say, even through the screen, your personal story felt intimate and genuine. I felt connected with you. I even forgot about my fridge. And finally, how did I participate? Please type one word in the chat. How do you want an online speaker to make you feel? Just one word. Educated, seen, connected. See? Notice what happened. For a few seconds, you were not only watching, you were participating. That is something we can notice in an online evaluation. Participation can take many forms: a question, a chat response, a reaction, a poll, or simply a moment to reflect. It doesn't mean every speaker needs to include all of this. What matters is whether the audience feels included rather than invisible. So next time you evaluate online, do not only ask, was it a good speech? What should we ask instead? Ask these 4 simple, concise questions. What did I see? What did I hear? What did I feel? And how did I participate? Give feedback about actually came through the screen, because online we are not evaluating the room we imagine. We are evaluating what the audience actually experiences. Evaluate the screen, not the room. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, our DTM Asil. That was very interesting. topics, each one that make us feel connected and seen in this screen. Okay, we are going to look for the timing, the times, and our vote counter too. She can share the link, and each one can just click on that link and vote for the best topic that gets to your heart. Okay?
Good. Perhaps just before I put in the link, could we just check with the timer what the times were to see if everybody is in time?
Thank you. It was particularly hard to keep the time at tonight's meeting because of how engaging the speeches were. We had two speakers, or actually three speakers who kept the time, Jim Barber, Graham Kearns, and Andrew Byrne, 5:23, 5:26, 5:21, respectively. The rest of the speakers unfortunately didn't keep the time. We had Seema who spent 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 52 seconds, about 22 seconds over time. David Kerr, who had 6 minutes, 45 seconds, and Asil, 6 minutes, 27 seconds. Thank you.
Well, what will I do? Will I be tough or be kind? Will I include everybody or
Be
only the
kind.
three?
Be
Huh?
kind.
Be
Be
kind.
kind.
Let
Be
them
kind. All
anybody.
right, let me be kind. I think so too. Just grab the link.
Okay,
Thank you.
meanwhile, yes, our vote counter is going to share the link. So we are going to prepare also for the Q&A and our table topics. So our Q&A will be our distinguished Toastmasters, Carl. You can give us like the introduction.
Yes, certainly. We have a few questions that came into the chat, but not that many. So I will handle those and then open it out to questions that come to mind. First of all, Annie had a question for Simmer. Annie, would you like to ask Simmer your question?
Yes, my question was just a very quick one to Simmer, and that was, what is your opinion? And she did actually answer it in the chat, but what's your opinion of starting a speech with something very light-hearted or humorous, or not really a joke, but very light-hearted and humorous?
Annie, I think I answered that. For me, is
Yes.
to, picking that up is I just pick the line or the topic that comes natural to me. So if I speak it naturally, then definitely it comes out naturally as well.
Okay, good. And Simmer asked me, why did she say no? That was a topic of the speech that got me into the World Championship of Public Speaking, and I will save that. By the way, that was the World Championship of Public Speaking against Mark Hunter, and maybe I will bring that speech to the club someday. And,
Yes, indeed. Please do so. I'm so
so
looking forward to it.
So I won't tell you what she actually said. It wasn't
Okay.
no, it was something else that she said, but
Yeah.
I'll leave that to you. So and as far as I took the wrong turn, someone asked which turn. I took a wrong turn going to school. So which turn? Who asked that?
It would be me, maybe. I don't know. I'm just looking at, is it the question?
Okay. All right. Well, there was a lot actually in the chat over that
Topic, yeah.
over the opening of the speech. So you actually did get a lot of interest in that.
Yeah.
It was something that people were very interested in. So good topic. Very, very good.
Thank
you. So David had a question for Graham, which is, what's the biggest mistake you routinely see speakers make with their mic?
Thank you, Carl, and thank you, David, for the question. The most common mistake that I see is people who have a microphone and then forget that they have a microphone. They just wave it about. It becomes like, I don't know, a stick that they're holding, or like some really weird magic wand from Harry Potter. They forget that they have a microphone. And most importantly, they forget that the microphone needs to be pointed at the mouth. It doesn't have to be pointed somewhere in your direction. As you can see, my microphone is now off to the side. That wouldn't be picking me up properly. If I do want to hold the microphone off to the side for some reason, then I still need to point it at my mouth, because the mouth is where the noise is coming from. And that's the most common mistake. The second most common mistake is when people are holding a handheld, a clip-on microphone and don't clip it on, and then they feel the need to hold it like this, and that's fine. But then again, they forget that they've got it and they start to make gestures. And once the microphone is off here, you might as well not have a microphone. So if you have a microphone, point it at the mouth and remember that you actually have a microphone in your hand.
I think when I tried working with the stick style microphone, I was pointing it at the ceiling basically. And I was trying to speak into it from the side and didn't realize why that wasn't working.
Point it at the mouth. The mouth is where the noise is coming from. Whether it should be or not, that is where the noise is coming from. Keep the microphone pointed at the noisy bit.
Right. I would add two things to that. What people forget to do is practice using a microphone, and then you won't make those mistakes. The other thing is, I see people covering their face with the microphone, which is not a great thing to do. So yeah, practice using different kinds of microphones. Use a pen if you have to, but practice doing it. That's how you avoid all these things. Practice, practice, practice. And then Simmer had a question for Andrew, which is, how do you calculate the word count of a speech or speech to text transcript?
There are programs that do that for you. One of them just allows you, it times Udily, for example. Udily, the program that was advertised by Toastmasters up until this year, did a defined time and counted the words that you did and then calculated words per minute. It's sort of how police do speed traps. They have a defined distance from point A to point B, so they know that distance, and then they just do a stopwatch for timing, and then it's just a matter of how much distance you travel in so much time, and that gives you a calculation for your rate of speed. It's a simple mathematical equation. Same way with the words. There are several programs that do that, and in large groups of people with basic changes due to geography and demographics and culture, they've come up with these numbers. And what it tells you is that if you're pressed for time, one way of compressing your time is to be able to speak more quickly, get your thoughts down more rapidly, and then you can spend time doing your revisions. The biggest problem with handwritten longhand is one, the mechanical. Two, you're thinking of the spelling, you're thinking of the grammar, you're thinking of the structure, which all slows you down. Same thing with typing. When you get conversational, you don't have all those issues. And once you finish it and you see the text written out, it allows you to then focus on your grammar and wording and things of that nature.
There was a great study that I read which said that if you want to be understood as a speaker, it kind of breaks down into men speak 125 words a minute and women speak around 150 words a minute. The way that I found it is I write all my speeches in Word, That tells me how many words I've written. I record it. Words divided by minutes. I know how fast I speak. Also, I will use my mic entry into Chat GPT, say my speech. Hello, Chat GPT. How how many words a minute did I speak? And it tells me. So, and then I tell GPT, okay, when I write something, keep me to that many words per minute, and it keeps me honest. So
The
that's
average,
that's another way to do it.
the average Toastmaster speech, a 5 to 7 minute speech, is 175 to 250 words, depending upon how fast you speak.
Oh, not me. Not me. I'm under 125 words a minute. So it's up to you. It's up to whether you want to be understood or not. So that's it.
When I'm writing a 5 to 7 minute speech, I aim for 600 words, and that
Yep.
will be 6 minutes because I don't want to go to 7 minutes. Because if I go to 7 minutes and they laugh
Yeah.
more than I expect, I'm out of time.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. You get those people on the phone, and you have to say, "All right, say it again and slow down to half speed, please, because I didn't understand a single word you said." So
And you don't
that,
have to say a lot. I mean, think about
yeah,
the 20th century uh, icon of the Gettysburg speech that Lincoln
yeah,
gave.
right.
272 words.
Yep.
That's all it
Yep.
was.
That's all. Yeah. Okay. So, does anyone have any questions for any of our tipsters today?
More than a question, the Jim Barber can help me to just put a little more information. This this weekend I just did my resume with Gemini, and so I copied the job duties, the description, the job post, and based on that, so Gemini made my resume and match the with the job duties and also the cover letter. So that's what it helped me more in depth in the
Mhm.
design too.
I Okay. would be Very good. careful. I would be careful in using what Gemini or any other AI produces directly, word for word, because unfortunately, PR departments, personnel departments, human resources,
HR.
HR, they're getting quite adept at recognizing AI. In fact, they are using AI to recognize AI produced material. So I would
Arms race.
use Gemini or whatever to produce your resume for you, but then I would go back and humanize it yourself, right? Rewrite portions of it so that it sounds like you rather than as a canned presentation. But that's a good thing to do, absolutely.
Jenny,
Yeah,
one fast tip on
absolutely.
that is that if you use Gemini Notebook, because in Gemini Notebook you can put in your source of truth. So you can submit your true resume as you've created it. So all of your facts are there. And then you ask in the chat portion of the Gemini Notebook, look over my resume, look over these questions that are coming from this company. Have I done anything on my resume that you would make a recommendation for improvement on? And then it would go through your resume that you've submitted as a source of truth, and then it would recreate a resume, and you can have it produced in any way you want. You can say, produce this as a Word document, produce this as an HTML document, produce this as an A4 document, or produces as a MD or a Markdown document. If you do any of those things, Gemini Notebook will do that for you. And you don't have to worry about hallucinations because it's just taking from the input that you gave it and kept it there.
Right. Also, a little thing that I do, every single thing I write, I put it into Chat GPT and I say, just hold this in your memory. So that when it does write something for me, it knows how I speak. That doesn't mean I don't have to go back and fix it, but it does come out at least a little bit more like me, and I have to do less fixing. That's all. It does it's
Thank you
getting
very much for
over the
now.
years. It's getting to know how I speak. So there you go. Any more questions for any of the tipsters? Kim.
I have a really quick question. And this kind of goes to all the tipsters, including you, Carl. Why do women typically speak 21,000 words a day, while men only speak 7,000 words a day?
We don't think as fast as women do.
The answer is because we have to say everything 3 times to get you guys to hear it.
Yeah, my wife would agree with that.
There you go.
Those were not real numbers. I just had to get that in there.
I'll go along with it. Okay,
Thank
so
you. We are a
let's
little
move on
short.
to the next thing. Let's go on to the next section of the meeting. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much. And that was wonderful. And now we need the results for our food counter.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day. And our winner today, even though she was out over time, which half of our speakers were, is Asil for the best speaker of the day, the best tip of the day. Are you okay, Madam Toastmaster, if I just move right on? I'm aware of the time, move on to the general evaluation.
Yes, please.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. These will need to be concise. Chinadu, I love the way that you had the actual numbers on the screen so people could see how many seconds that they were using, which was great. Can you just give us a very brief overview of the timing of the meeting? Just maybe where we blew out a little bit. I know we didn't have time for table topics or whatever, but any comments you would like to make about the timing?
I think we did mostly well with these pitches. We just had a few speakers who went over time. The question and answer session or section rather, I had that as 20 minutes going by the agenda. So maybe in that regards, we could have spent a little less time. Probably not maybe we shouldn't have dedicated as much time to the question and answer session. But apart from that, I think we've done quite well with our timing. Probably, I mean, might just be running over time, but yeah, not too bad.
Thank you. And thank you so much for being our timer. Our grammarian, how did we go and were we concise enough? Over to you, Jeff.
Thank you, Annie. Tonight, my job was easy, and that's a credit to all of you. My pen here stayed capped. No corrections, only highlights. Word of the day was concise, and that made a number of appearances today. Well done. From speeches at the table, or basically from tips all across the different tips that we made, everyone was clear, colorful, and fittingly concise. If every meeting is like this one, we'll be putting the grammarians out of a job. Congratulations on a polished performance, and back to you.
Thank you very much, Jeff. I'd now like to ask Jocelyn if she could please tell us what she saw.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. The virtual backgrounds are very nice to have in the meeting because everyone knows they are in an online presenters Toastmasters meeting. We want to remember to spotlight our speakers. I don't know that everyone knows how to move from gallery to speaker view. Just remember that. I think Graham standing up during your tip was very good because we could clearly see your gestures. All of the speakers, I could tell the audience was engaged because they were leaning forward, they were smiling, they were laughing, they were nodding their head. They were engaged. You encouraged them to use the chat, to ask questions, to make comments, to use emojis. That was very good. Asil, I have to compliment you on your gestures when you were talking, giving your tip. Your gestures here and can't see them. Can you see? So that was very, very good. I do want to remind everyone, for our speakers, we want to encourage them by applauding either using a virtual or physical applause for every speaker. I mean, where else can you get applause but in Toastmasters? Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Jocelyn, for that. You were certainly watching us very carefully. I'd like now to ask one of our very newest members, Pooja Nayak, about whether she heard any ums or ahs or anything else like that that she would like to tell us about.
Thank you, Madam Evaluator. So it was a tough job today because I listened for the filler words and phrases. I heard two ers. Well was used 3 times. Hum was not used at all, and or any of the other filler words were not used at all. That gives us a total of 5 filler words during the meeting. Overall, the speakers communicated very well during their speeches and were very clear in articulating those sentences, so there were no filler words in between. They were very concise and, again, very exciting speeches as well. So, with that, back to you, Madam Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Pooja, for your first time doing that role. That was fabulous. And MJ, can you tell us what you saw in the chat?
Okay, yes, it was a very active chat today. Let's see here. So we started with the meeting theme and the word of the day, and Dr. Andrew Byrne posted a photo of him, Simmer, and Annie from the Toastmasters convention in Vancouver, which was a fun picture to share. Thank you very much for that. Simmer's speech, there were lots of answers about the openings, which one do you like best, and sample openings. And there were lots of feedback in the chat for Asil's speech, participation from the audience, answering questions on evaluating the screen. And Carl also directed the questions that were posted to the speakers, Annie for Simmer and Simmer to Carl, and David for Graham and Simmer for Andrew. And Chinadu, the timer, posted the speakers' final times. But overall, there was a lot of fun feedback in the chat. So hopefully everybody got to access that. Back to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It has been a really enjoyable meeting all around. And before I sign out and hand back to our president, I would like to talk about our Toastmaster of the day, Jenny. It is the first time she has done that role. It was absolutely sensational. I have written down she was professional, warm, and unflappable. She was also prepared. She'd thought about it before, and I thought she did a sterling job. And please, everybody remember, English is her second language as well. But that beautiful smile throughout, and just the consummate Toastmaster of the day. Congratulations. And now it is over to our esteemed president, David Carr.
All right. I don't think we have too much filling of roles to do for next week, because next week is another special program with the World Championship speaker. But I did want to ask Joe. We always try and ask our guests at the end of the meeting for a little bit of feedback. Are you able to unmute, maybe come on camera if you're able to, and just tell us what your experience was tonight?
I had a wonderful experience. Sorry, no camera, but I did have a wonderful experience. I found that you use a lot of functionaries that I've never seen before. In the chat monitor, background monitor, the young woman that told us what everybody had on their background and how it was affecting presentations. I did appreciate that because I've never seen it before.
Cool. Yeah, we've reinvented a few things just to fit the format.
It's wonderful.
All right. Well, please come back anytime, and if you're interested in membership, there's a page on our site called the Join page that has information about how to join. But you're also welcome to come back as a guest anytime.
Okay, thank you for letting me sit in.
All right. Mitesh is kind of a perpetual guest. I think he's told us that he can't really cough up the money to join, but or the schedule to join. But would you like to give us a little feedback, Mitesh?
Yeah, today was a special meeting. Yes, I've witnessed this meeting before, and I think the tipathons, the ones who were assigned to give the tips were really incredible. Last time it was good, but today was incredible. Thank you.
All right, terrific. We had some other guests. They said nice things in the chat, and then they ran away. So, I mean, I hope that just was because of schedule reasons, but that they had a good time as well. Do we have any other business to discuss? Andy.
For informational purposes, at the Vancouver meeting, one of the past international directors mentioned she's part of the Founders Club. This is Karen Lucas. They are doing a program at the Founders Club tomorrow night at their normal meeting time, 7 p.m. Pacific, on coaches and how to do the coaches role and what's involved and how clubs should interact with coaches. It should be very interesting. And for those that are able to stay up on the East Coast to start time of 10 p.m., it might be worthwhile. Just wanted to mention it to you.
Okay. If you can come up with a link or something, share it in our WhatsApp.
Okay.
All right. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll look forward to seeing you for another special meeting next week.
Bye, everyone.
All right. Take care.
Bye.